So I've been charting Bitcoin and we are in a falling wedge, and I'm going to go over some of that in this video. But also what I want to focus on in this video is if we do get strength from Bitcoin, some of the other sympathies where we might see some strength as well. As I'm sure you know, there are a lot of correlations in the market. And so when Bitcoin has strength, there's a lot of areas of the stock market where we will see strength as well. So in this video, we're going to take a look at some of these sympathies that are going to get some strength from Bitcoin. So first off, let's just take a look at Bitcoin. So you can see what happened here is we hit our top, which was an all-time high, and we've been retracing ever since that happened. So we didn't spend long up in the blue sky breakout. We came back down and we've been retracing. So generally when we make a new high, we can either just keep going full throttle or we can come back and retest some support. So now we start to look for where is the support and how far down are we going to retrace. So a while ago in one of my videos on Bitcoin and crypto, I did a lengthy video where I analyzed Bitcoin, and on all the moves up, I analyzed that Bitcoin always pulled back to the 61.8 fibs area off of our big moves that went on for a while. When we hit a top and we started to retrace, we always pull back about 61.8. And then even when I analyzed the smaller moves, it was always around 61.8. So I've already run fibs on this move starting from this bottom, because this is a very obvious bottom where we started getting some momentum and moving up. And so from the bottom to the top, you can see that we have retraced to the 61.8 area almost, although that SMA 100 is lining up perfectly with that 61.8 area. So what I look for is for the 61.8 area to meet a nice level of support or resistance, as well as that SMA 100. So I'm not getting anything. There's the two levels that we should be watching right here. So I'm going to just look at the hourly. So here's the two levels that we want to watch to see if this 55,360 level can hold, and if not, then I'll look to this 53,289 area. But looking at the hourly, you can see that I also had drawn this wedge, this small little cup and handle looking thing, and we might have attempted to break over that. So we'll see if we can hold on this first level. And if not, then the next area that I'm going to look at for Bitcoin is going to be this area to finish our retracement and start heading back up again. So these are the areas that I'm watching on Bitcoin. And if right now we are starting to get a little bit of movement, and we have a possible double bottom at that 55,360 area. So if that can hold and we can get some bullish momentum, that is the reason why I'm doing this video, looking at all these other plays that I've seen that will benefit from this bullish momentum. So let's go take a look at those now. So the first setup I want to look at is HUT, H-U-T. You can see that very similar to Bitcoin, we hit a top and started pulling back. We are at an area right now that is possible support at 1237. So we'll see if that area can hold. And this one is still in after hours trading. And so if I flip over to the hourly, you can see how we're just going up and down in this wedge pattern. So this is the wedge pattern I'm going to be watching, and this is the level I'm watching to see if this level can hold and if we can have a possible break off this level. And if this level doesn't hold, then the next area I'd be looking at would be 1156. Would be our next area at the SMA 50. RIOT. Now this is one that I'm pretty interested in because you can see we have this nice bull flag pattern here forming. I'm just zooming out so we can see the whole chart. We hadn't had the same strength that Bitcoin was enjoying when Bitcoin was hitting all new highs. RIOT wasn't doing that. So we had broken out right here, but then we had earnings. So we pulled back hard and we've pulled into this falling bull flag pattern, but you can see that we sort of just keep into this pattern. So now this is becoming our support and our resistance. So what I want to see is a break of this 3680 And then I want to see some retracement back into this bull flag pattern to test this support. And that's when I would enter. You can see we had a big day today. We had an 8% day. Now, are we going to continue with this tomorrow? Maybe overnight if Bitcoin keeps going. We could open up with a gap up tomorrow, but RIOT always does pull back hard. We have big moves and we pull back hard. So this is the one that I'm interested in definitely checking out as far as the sympathies go. But I want to see this break of the 3680 happen first. So it's a nice cup and handle pattern as well. So we can have a nice cup and handle breakout off this move. And I'd want to hold that over this level. So my target would be up around 47 if we can break out of this bull flag pattern. So I have my eye here on RIOT. SOS, yeah, this one is hurting pretty bad. Now I had a position in this one for a while. I did another video on this and had a pretty nice return off of this as we were trying to clear this SMA 100, and then we had some bad news here. I don't know the fundamentals here, but SOS has had some really bad news, and we are pretty hurting here. The daily RSI is oversold, and we're starting to form this nice base. So we have this nice base of 125 that we can watch. So if Bitcoin starts to get some strength, these are two things that have me interested in SOS. It's an oversold RSI levels, as well as the strong base of support to watch. Now, if we break this base just by a little bit, I'd still be a little interested because that kind of thing happens in the market. We don't hold our support to the penny all the time. So let's go and take a look at the other levels. 4 hours, not quite oversold. Weekly, almost oversold, not quite. Hourly, no. Now, in order to get any more oversold on these levels, we're going to need to break our support. So if that happens and we break it hard, then I would only be interested in SOS if we got to hourly oversold levels after a severe flush. So I'm just going to keep watch on this one and see if we can hold the support and start to bounce off of it. If we did get some movement, it would be nice because we have this nice gap right here above 160 that we can fill on SOS. So keeping my eye here on SOS. ANTE, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so we can see the chart here. We've just been holding this whole area, but now we've got this nice base, which we have a quadruple bottom on this $2 level. So we have this really nice bottom that we can watch of $2. So should we be getting some momentum from Bitcoin, then we have a nice area to watch. So I wouldn't call this a bullish setup, but we've just kind of been going sideways with a slight incline. And this is something that could easily start moving back up. We're testing that EMA 12 right now, and then it's not far away from changing into a daily uptrend here. So this one, ANTE, is a nice position that could be a healthy position going forward to get some positive momentum off of Bitcoin. Now, here's another one I like, AFRM. We were into all-time highs right around the same time that Bitcoin was into all-time highs, and you can see that we're pulling back in this wedge, or in a falling wedge here. I haven't highlighted the falling wedge, but what I have found is this really nice trend line. And I really like this trend line because if a trend line can be, if you look at it back here, it was resistance. We come back down, it's resistance again. 4 different days it was resistance, and then we rejected hard from it. Then we keep on going all the way along till we reject from it again. Then we get over it with a gap, and now here we are, and now it's become our support. And we had a hard bounce off of it. So this is just a beautiful trend line that we can be watching here on AFRM. PHUN. Now, I have this one in here. I wouldn't exactly call this a bullish setup. To me, I think this could be a bearish setup. So I'm not really going to go anywhere near this one. But I did want to highlight it a little bit because this was a similar setup to DWAC where we pulled back and we started pulling back to DWAC hard. But you can see we're in this tight falling wedge. And if I move this line off, it could also be a descending triangle, but no, yeah, so it's a falling wedge and it's getting tighter, but we've got this huge gap below. So that would be what would have me not interested in this at all, is just, I do believe in gaps getting filled. So Will it be filled now? Who knows? But I am not interested in this for that reason. But I did just want to put this in here because I know that there are a lot of people looking at PHUN. So I just want to point out this gap here. And just very quickly, I just want to take a look at DWAC, the Trump ticker. It has nothing to do with the Bitcoin, but you can see that we were in a similar position with a gap below. We were in this tight falling wedge here, and it could have broken bull off of that. We were holding on to this EMA 12, but we've broken bear, we've filled the gap, and we are continuing downwards from there. So back to PHUN, similar looking chart. So bigger gap. So this is something that has me definitely want to stay away from this one. And the last one I want to look at here is MARA, M-A-R-A. This one is not as quite bullish looking as RIOT, and they have been running quite opposite to each other. So we've got like sort of, well, first of all, we're in this daily EQ pattern. So we're testing the top, coming back down, testing the bottom, and it's just been going basically sideways, which we were in the same pattern over here. We had a bull break out of it. Now we're back into it, but we are forming this head and shoulders look. So you could see, this, if we continue bouncing in this without breaking out, we could break bear and then have this continued fall, bear break, head and shoulders from MARA. So just watching this. Another thing though, if we don't break bear, we are also on this SMA 50. So we could have a bull break here as well. This is sort of an undecided pattern, as is most of these patterns, and they are all dependent on the strength of Bitcoin, in my opinion. So basically, we want to wait and see what's going to happen with MARA. Let's see how the kind of retracement that we did have. Off of the last move, we've had 38% retracement, decent, very good retracement, and we've come down to the SMA 50. So it could go either way. It's just this head and shoulders look that has me a little bit concerned with MARA. Other than that, we could break bull out of this and continue up into a new all-time high. So just keeping an eye on MARA before making any moves in that one. So checking back into Bitcoin, there is this resistance that I want to see us break here, 578, 5579, and we have not done that yet. It looks like we are struggling with that level right now. You can see in the hourly that we're bouncing off of that level or rejecting that level. So we will have to check back. Obviously, Bitcoin's still running. 24 hours a day, we're running. So we'll see what happens. We are going to have more than one test. This is basically the first 24-hour. We're into the first hour of the 24-hour period. So at this point tomorrow morning, I will check and see if we have gotten over this level. And if we get over that level, then I'll be looking at all these setups that I'm keeping an eye on here on Bitcoin. So all these setups that I have listed here could go in the complete opposite direction if Bitcoin goes in the opposite direction. So I'm not making any moves on these setups right now. They're just things that I'm watching. I set alerts in my trading platform. I look for different levels to break. And then I also look for retracements once those levels are broken. And then that would be when I would start to scale into a position for something like this. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions or if you want me to analyze any other tickers or have ideas for videos, just put it in the comments. I'd like to hear from everybody on the channel.